Welcome to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today. DIRECTV wants to offer locals as an add-on, no longer forcing you to pay for locals if you don't want to. Verizon Fios is ditching cable TV and going all in on streaming. We'll tell you what's happening with their efforts to move away from traditional cable to streaming. And Warner Brothers Discovery CEO talks about the mass layoffs they had, kind of blames AT&T for that. We'll tell you why. That and answering your questions at the end of this video are all coming up here in a second. First though, if you want to learn more about these stories, check out the show notes down below and in the first pinned comment. I'll put a link to each story there so you can read about them for yourself and let me know your thoughts. I'll love to hear from you. If you're new here, do us a big favor. Help us grow, help us support our families. Just hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here so YouTube recommends our videos to more people. And hopefully we can help you break free from the high costs of TV. So with that said, quick little note here. I'm recording this on Monday, or for Monday. Everybody in my house is sick. I kind of feel like I'm coming down with something that may take my voice away if I'm gone this week. My apology, I may just be sick for a day or two without a voice. I'll post in the community tab on our social media accounts on more if that happens. But let's dive into it. DIRECTV says it will consider cutting out locals and avoiding driving DIRECTV off a cliff. Now, what's happening here is Tinga, the second, I don't know if there's a second, one of the largest owners of local television stations like ABC, NBC, Fox, and CBS, is dark on DIRECTV. They're having a fight over the fees that DIRECTV must pay them to carry their channels. Of course, Tinga wants more money. Everybody does. Nothing new there. DIRECTV wants Tinga to agree to allow them to offer locals as an add-on a la carte option. Now, you'll be able to say, hey, I want all my ESPNs, and then locals can be in like a $10 add-on, probably more like $20, unfortunately, with that. Now, Tinga says it's unfair that all the other cable customers get our channels and all the other owners of locals will be on DIRECTV, but we'll be in a special add-on. Of course, DIRECTV wants to do this to everybody, but they have to wait until their contracts renew in order to do this a la carte deal. Now, DIRECTV says this is needed, and if not, the cost of TV just keep going up, which will speed up the growth of cord cutting and basically drive them off a cliff. Kind of can't argue with that. Sling TV's been doing this for a while with some great success, where they say, hey, you don't have to get locals if you don't want it. We are the service for people with an antenna. You get your locals there, and then you get Sling TV for ESPN, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, FS1, and more. Now, will they be successful? This is going to be very interesting how this plays out. Tinga is obviously not a big fan with this because if they allow DIRECTV to do it, other people are going to want to do it too. We'll watch that very closely. But DIRECTV has over 60-some locals dark right now. Not quite as big as the Nexstar fight earlier this year, but it's a pretty significant fight. It's another step in these companies pushing back against locals and other channels demanding more money, because they're not making a lot of money. Any more money they pay locals is money that has to go to the bottom line, probably ending up with the consumer. All right, speaking of traditional cable TV companies, Verizon Fios is ditching their cable TV boxes and going all in streaming. Much like Spectrum did with the Xumo Play box, they now have a new service called Fios TV Plus that uses an Android-powered streaming player to allow you to stream your channels. Same TV packages as the cable boxes that Fios has been using forever, like the TiVo box and more, but now streamed online, just like Spectrum is doing with Xumo Play. No discount here, though they do say you get one free device. Additional devices are additional money. But one more example of companies saying, hey, why are we having a whole expensive legacy cable TV box network here when we could just stream everything to our customers? I expect this to become more common. I expect more companies to look at this and say, hey, you know, we have a whole bunch of legacy boxes, we have a whole bunch of legacy hardware, it's expensive, probably be cheaper for us to go in on streaming. With that though, the big selling for cord cutters here is currently, just think of those old copper lines, right? And you cut that up in a couple different ways. You have the phone data back in the day, you had TV, and then you had internet. Well, if they go everything over the internet, streaming phone service, streaming TV, it allows 100% of the bandwidth on that fiber or copper cable to be used for internet, which means faster internet, better experience. Not a bad option, but we're a long ways from that. Now, if you're a current Fios customer, you don't need to switch over to this device. You can continue to use your hardware right now. But Fios, Spectrum, I expect more companies to do this in the years to come. All right. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav, dyslexic moment there, Z-A-S-L-A-V, last Wednesday took the stage and talked about the mass layoffs when he was asked about it over at Warner Brothers Discovery. And he said, well, Warner Brothers has never been set for the future, basically blaming the old leadership for running a business that wasn't properly created to run in today's day and age. Now, he's been very widely criticized for a lot of big layoffs over there, cutting completed film and television shows, just axed, saying we would rather take a write-off on this project than release it for tax purposes. Also, a little bit of a tax law thing there where it's better to let the show die than to actually release it for tax purposes, and they believe it will be more profitable doing that way. That's a tax law issue, if you ask me, not somebody trying to take advantage of tax laws to benefit their business. But he's basically saying AT&T, who ran the business for a long time here, failed to properly set the business up for success in the future. I don't know. That's a very big question there that needs to be answered. Do you think that AT&T screwed up Warner Bros. Discovery? If so, do you blame the current leadership of, Warner Brothers? Do you believe AT&T screwed up? Warner Bros. Discovery is the newly merged company. Or do you blame the new leaders? Who do you blame for the current state of everything happening over there? Leave me a comment. I want to hear from you. All right. One question I get asked a lot recently is, why are Amazon packages taking so much longer than normal? Very hard to even find a 2-day delivery in some parts of the country, much less the same day or next day many people got used to from Amazon. And in short, that comes from a absolutely massive season for Black Friday. Amazon said on Black Friday, the company saw $9.8 billion in sales. From the 17th of November through the 27th, so 10 days, they sold over 1 billion items that need to be shipped. This has created a backlog, which has just slowed down their ability to process orders and deliver orders. But the good news here is that's recovering. They're getting back there. But if you've been wondering why deliveries are so late, thank everybody else who ordered 1 billion items in just 10 days. All right, bad news if you bought some Warner Bros. Discovery content through PlayStation. Certain reality shows from Warner Bros. Discovery are being removed from the PlayStation Store from TV. They're including being removed from people who had already paid for them and bought them. If you want to learn more about that, down below, you can check out a story that we wrote about. But unfortunately, they're removing that content, even if you've already paid for it. Not the first time this happens. Very rare, though. Very bad luck both on Warner Bros. Discovery and on Sony's part. Amazon's been working very hard to launch a home internet service that will also serve business customers. But Amazon's internet service had some problems with partners to get launched, get their satellites in space. Now they're turning to a company who's very successful at it, SpaceX. So in a very interesting move, SpaceX is going to start launching Amazon's Kuiper Project satellites. These are the low Earth orbit satellites that will start offering internet service to people around the world. It's going to be a worldwide network. SpaceX, though, has their own Starlink service that's far ahead of them, but very interesting to see Starlink say, yeah, we'll be happy to take your money and we'll be happy to offer to launch your satellites. They're going to be competing with us, but good job on them. These two companies working out a deal. I'm sure a lot of money was involved. All right, Local BTV, the free local TV streaming service, has been down now over a week. A lot of people have been asking me, is this service permanently down? We don't know. Now, I've tried to reach out to everybody we can find that's even remotely related to the company. Everybody has denied comment on it. They've directed us to the CEO. The CEO has not replied to our messages. All the emails for Local BTV and its parent company are not working that we know, and their websites have been down now for over a week. Not looking great, but right now, people still list themselves as working there on LinkedIn. So we'll have to wait and see. But we can say it's been down a week and the company has offered no comment on what's happening. And lastly, we get a lot of people that love T-Mobile and Verizon 5G home internet, but it's not available everywhere. Verizon has announced they intend to continue to expand 5G home internet into new markets. So good news, they have a roadmap here as they continue to try to grow and expand their service to offer 5G home internet in new areas. If you are in an area without it, keep checking every month or two. Maybe you'll be added soon as they roll out and improve their network to be able to handle the demand of 5G home internet. All right, let's dive into the question of the day. If you ever have a question for me you want me answering these videos, leave a comment down below and in the start off with something like, a question for Luke, so I know it's something you want me to answer in these videos. But today's question comes from, or asked, I should say, I have T-Mobile 5G and get 5 bars, but sometimes buffering in the evening happens, but not during the daytime hours. Any suggestions? So what's happening here is probably increased demand. Increased demand to slow down your internet speeds in busy times for this. Now, a few suggestions for that. Number one, make sure your box, even though you have 5 bars, is in the best place. Play around with it, move it to different windows, see if you get better speed. I had the same amount of bars no matter where I put my 5G T-Mobile router in my home, but putting mine on the south side by a window offered a dramatic increase in speed because that was the side of the home that the tower was on where I was using it. So definitely move it around. Unfortunately, you may have to wait for T-Mobile to upgrade their network where you are to handle the increased demand. This is part of the reason why T-Mobile is only offering a limited number of spots per market to try to prevent this from happening, and why some areas of the United States are not being offered their 5G home internet because the network there may not be capable of handling it. So I would also talk to T-Mobile customer service. Hopefully they'll be able to fix it in the next few weeks or months to help offer more bandwidth. I know it's very annoying. When I lived in Missouri, I had DSL. We had the same problem. As people got into more and more streaming, it would come evenings where I couldn't even get one down. Couldn't stream anything, couldn't play video games, couldn't even sometimes surf the web without long, slow web loads. It's not a problem exclusively to 5G home internet, but with the current boom in 5G home internet, it's not surprising. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll be back tomorrow, voice permitting, to answer more of your questions and tell you everything happening in the world of cord cutting. Thank you to everybody's support. We've added thousands of new subscribers last month. Huge growth in the channel, even with the traditionally slow Thanksgiving period, which always hits sites and YouTube channels like this hard because people are out having fun with family. I get it. But even with that, we saw huge growth last month. Thank you. Welcome to the thousands of new subscribers in the last month. I'll see you all tomorrow.